Hi, I'm Luz DeBay, and I love to talk about movies 24/7. I've been fascinated with films as long as I can remember, and I upload weekly. Today I'm going to be talking about Scream 3, which came out in 2000. It's about Ghostface returning in Hollywood and hunting down Sidney Prescott and their friends. It stars Neve Campbell, David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Scott Foley, Parker Posey, Roger L. Jackson is the voice of Ghostface, and many other great actors. It's directed by Wes Craven, and this time it's written by Aaron Kruger. All right, I'm going to start talking about the positives. I really like the opening scene. It starts out with Cotton and his girlfriends. It really raises the stakes to have an opening scene with an already established character. So I thought that was a great idea, and I love that they did that. And by the way, I just want to let you guys know this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it, please do that and you can come back to the review. I do recommend it. All the Scream movies are some of my favorites of all time. It's my favorite horror franchise. All right, so that's a heads up. But unfortunately, Cotton does die in the opening. But it really sets up the stakes for the movie. It's a really intense opening. Very solid. Not one of the best, out of the franchise so far for the opening, but still a solid opening scene. As always, the acting is top notch. David Arquette, Courtney Cox, Neve Campbell are all amazing. I love some of the new additions. Parker Posey as Jennifer Jolie is amazing. She's super funny. She's probably the best part about this movie. She's a great new character highlight. She has so many great lines. She's so funny. She's so over the top. I really enjoy her character. She's my favorite new character from this movie. I wish we would have got to see her in more movies, but she was amazing in this movie. Of course, the directing, as always, is great by Wes Craven. A lot of great, tense moments, great character development, great shots. Like I said before, this time it was not written by Kevin Williamson. It was written by Aaron Kruger. And to give you guys a little backstory, I don't believe he actually wanted to write this because he just didn't know the source material. But he was obligated to, due to a contract, so he had to. So that's probably why this is the weakest story wise. I don't blame him because, like I said, like he had to do it, so he could only do the best he could. I blame the studio. But I mean, he did the best he could for what he was given, and they had to do a lot of rewrites and stuff like that. So it was really hard. I heard they actually had to do rewrites while they were filming scenes and like right before filming scenes. So that must have been tough. So I don't blame him. A lot of people do blame him, but I don't blame him. I mean, I still really enjoy this movie. It's just not as strong as the other ones. But it's definitely, you can definitely feel it's not written by Kevin Williamson, unfortunately. But it's still solid. Kevin Williamson did actually write an outline of how he wanted this movie to go and how it ended. Which should have been way more interesting. As far as I'm aware, there were going to be two killers, which would have been Robin Bridger and Angelina Tyler. It ended up just being Roman. And it had been like a cult of ghost faces. I heard there's like a bunch of ghost faces. Like, I guess a bunch of people are gonna die, and they're gonna, stand up at the end and like surprise Sydney. And the mastermind behind it all was supposed to be Stu. It was gonna be a twister that he survived in the first one, but none of that happened. That was just an outline that didn't end up happening. Because if you watch this movie, you're wondering why it's kind of toned down on the gore and the violence. It's because this came out around the Columbine shootings, so the MPA like really like cut down on the violence and gore in movies. So that's why this is the tamest Scream movie out of all of them. So yeah. So unfortunately, there's a lot of things that were against this movie being better than it could be. It's still a fun movie, but it couldn't be as violent or gory due to real life tragedy, which is of course understandable. And Kevin Williamson couldn't come back because he was busy. He had to get a writer that didn't know source material, and he just did the best he could. So that's understandable. But this movie is still intense. It has got a great Ghostface scenes. Um, uh, Great tension throughout. I thought the runtime is pretty solid. Um, it's not it doesn't waste your time. It's just about as long as it should be. I do enjoy the story. I like the Hollywood setting. I think that's a good idea. I think it's a nice change of pace. So I like that each the first three original movies were a different location. So get Woodsboro to get to college. I think was in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the third was in Hollywood. So I think that's for those movies, it's a nice little trilogy. All different locations. I think the Hollywood angle makes for some interesting ideas, because all the sets and this you can see more stab movie stuff and the stab actors. So I think that's all really cool. I always like that. This actually used to be my favorite Scream movie as a kid. It's my least favorite as an adult because it's the most flawed, but I'll get to that. I still have a couple of positives I want to talk about. I do like the ending of this movie, where it's like a big mansion, and it feels very Clue because there's a lot of secret passageways and stuff, which I love. I think that's all super cool. Um, I love it ends in the screening room. The killer reveal could have been better. I'll get to that, but Roman, like I said, is revealed to be the killer. He's fine, but could have been better. And also, movie has some good emotional parts. One thing I really liked was that Sydney's actually still wearing the necklace that Derek, her boyfriend in the last movie, gave her. I think that's a nice touch. That they don't have to say it, but she's still wearing the necklace for those who are paying attention. So I thought that was really cool, and a good idea because that was a really emotional death in the last movie. I didn't mention that in the last review, but her, obviously you can't blame her for not trusting Derek because, she's all the trauma that Sydney's been through. So she doesn't trust Derek and Mickey kills her and he didn't do anything wrong. He's an innocent, nice guy, but, she didn't know who to trust. But to honor him, she still wears the necklace in the next movie, which I thought was really cool. All right, I'm gonna start talking about a few negatives. This movie really ups the comedy quite a bit, which I do like the Jennifer Jolie stuff, but I think they pushed the comedy a little bit too high in this one. I don't think it's as well balanced as the other ones, because the other ones it's like really well balanced for the horror and comedy. This one not so much. But I wish that could have been a little bit better. And this movie has a lot of silly moments that kind of, that aren't logic based that I can't buy into, like Ghostface throwing the knife at Dewey and like getting knocked out and falling off the bottom of the stairs, which I guess would happen, but it still seems silly for a Scream movie in my opinion. I thought that was cool as a kid, but as an adult, I don't love that part. Yeah, and a couple more negatives. Like I said, Roman, he's okay as a killer, but like Sydney never even met him. So she like when he gets revealed, like she's like, who is this guy? Like only Dewey and Gail met him, so it's kind of weird that she never even met the killer. And if it was going to be Angelina as well, it was in the originally supposed to be in one of the scripts. At least she would have met Angelina, but she didn't even know who the killer was. And the funny thing is, every person I watched Scream 3 with for the first time, because Roman is usually seen with his glasses, right? And sometimes when people take their glasses off, it's a big change in appearance. So when he takes the mask off, he doesn't have any glasses on. Like that's the first time you see him without glasses, and everyone's like, "Who is that?" Like I don't know who that is, which is hilarious. I don't even know if I caught it the first time. I think I guess it was Roman, but I was confused because like he doesn't look the same without his glasses. So not a smart idea on that one. He should have just had him without glasses or shown him on another team without glasses so everyone could see who the so the review would actually be have a good payoff. But a lot of things that work with it. But Scott Foley did a great job. Either way, for what he was given, anyways, he is still like really intense and pretty funny. He had some pretty funny lines at the end. He's crazy. He's like one of my least favorite villains, but he's not terrible. He's just an okay. He's an okay villain. But still could have been better. Yeah. Overall, I do enjoy this movie, but this is a flawed film. I think it could have been better. I like quite a few things about it. But again, it could be better. I'd give this one a B plus. I still really like it, and it's worth your time. But it is my least favorite out of the franchise so far. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. You guys have a great day and take care. Bye.